Hello, my name is Rob from Platforms and Gamification Australia. I am the Director of Platforms and also your training guide today. This is a multi-part series of training videos that is designed to show you how you, the administrators of platforms within your organization, can use platforms to the best of its potential and to assign tasks and assign quests and give rewards, give feedback to the platformers or the users of the system. So it's a fairly simple to use system, but it does have layers of complexity that hopefully will be quite hidden from you. So that's all on the back end of things, and what you'll see is that it's actually quite easy to navigate and quite easy to use. So what we're going to do now is just quickly go through the sign up process just while we're on the main page here. So for those who are following along with the training booklet, what you should have is a URL, and the URL is www.platformsgame.com, and you can see that in the address bar here. So if you enter that into Chrome, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Safari, any of those, it works on any app, on any device. So if you have an iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Android tablet, PC, Mac, all of that will work. So go to the URL and we'll take you to the main page, which is what you can see here. And this is basically an introduction. It tells you how everything works, gives you a bit of promo material, but that's not terribly important right now. And what you want to go to is the admin login. Now I'm not going to click that just yet because it actually has my my login information saved, but I will tell you how to go through that. So once you click on that, it's going to be very simple as putting in your username, which will be the email that we set you up with, and a password which you will have chosen. Now we'll go through that in a little bit more detail in another video, but for now you will click on there and you will go into the next page. You will enter your username and password and click sign in. Now I'm just going to quickly cut the video here and we're going to come back after I'm signed in. So I will see you in about, well, 2 seconds to you guys. So here we are. This is the dashboard, and this is the main place where you will find the tools that you need to run platforms within your organization. Now I've just signed in, so this is the sign in successfully page, and you'll see along here the tabs. Now these tabs give you all the tools that you need to essentially run platforms in your organization. So we'll probably just start from left to right and we'll go through everything. There is the platforms button here. This will take you back to the home page, but it will not sign you out. So to sign out, you need to go to your account and actually log out. If you just go back to the home page, it actually won't sign you out. So just keep that in mind. But we'll start with levels here. And as an admin, you'll be able to view the levels. So if you click on levels and then click on view levels, it will show you all the levels that are available to your organization. Now, the vast majority of you will have the same levels, and it'll be 1 to 30. So we've got 1 to 30, and then it will tell you the experience points required, so how many points that the person, the platformer, will need to get to that level. So obviously level 1 you don't need any, so you'll start at level 1, and then as you build up experience points, you'll go up to level 2 at 500, level 3 at 1000, and so on. And of course down the bottom it's about 44,500. So obviously it does progress linearly to a point, and then there is an increase in difficulty about every 5 levels. You don't need to worry too much about this, but just be aware that it exists, and be aware of roughly what the milestones are, because that is a key motivator to the platformers using the game. To the right of the levels button, we have the organizations button. Now for you guys, you'll be able to view your organizations. So to the right of the levels tab, you will have the organizations tab. Now I'm going to click on the organizations tab and you'll see view organizations. Now I am using I've just switched to a training admin profile. The reason why is because I don't want to obviously expose the names of the organizations due to privacy reasons. So I'm just going to click on view organizations now, and you'll see here that this will list all the organizations that this training admin profile will have access to. And this is of course going to be the platform's training ground, which is what you will have access to during the training. So if you have more than one organization, they will all be listed here, and most of you will only have one, but you may have 2 or 3 depending on how you're set up and how many people you work with. But in this case, it's just the one. So you've got the name here. Now, under the current and max platformers, this will actually show how many platformers are enrolled in the system. Now, in the training system, there's up to 1,000, but most organizations will have somewhere around 250 to possibly up to 500, and then it will also say how many are enrolled. So in the training, obviously, we only have 3, but of course, if you did, say, an entire year level at a school, you may have something like 200 or 300 or even more, possibly, depending on the school. This is actually the place where you enroll your platformers. So this is actually quite important to understand. So we'll go through this in a little bit more detail. Under the Enter Platformers button, so if you click Enter here, it will actually take you to a form. It's quite short, so you don't actually need to enter much information because we're not really interested in that much information for the platformers. So we only need these basics. Now you fill in their form, and this is done by you for the platformer, and into their first name, last name, their email, and which group you would like them to enter. Now this will be set up for you. So if you have, say, a year level, like or even a class like 7C or just year 8 or something like that, this will come up here. If you have a well-being program, then it may have a group just for the well-being students, and you'll pick whichever one is appropriate for the student. So if they're going to be doing a lot of counseling work, you may want to put them in a well-being group, so that way only the administrators like yourself, possibly, who is a counselor, will be able to see that information. It will be private to everybody else. So you select the group, and then you click Create Platformer, and I'll just do that now. So we'll call him John Trainee, and we'll make his email. Well, I can't publish one. So we'll just say to put it through an email, and we'll say Platform Training Ground, and we click Create Platformer. Now what that will do is take you back to the organizations page, and it will actually create that platformer, and this will turn into a 4. So once that's done, this is the second stage. You now need to invite that platformer into the game. Now again, it's a 2-step process because we essentially want to have as much privacy and security as possible. So we're not having, basically random people who aren't supposed to be here potentially looking at information that's private. So you click Invite under Invite Existing Platformer, and you choose the platformer that you want to invite. So let's say you want to invite, say, Johnny Newby here, and you can click Invite. Now, 2 things to note here. Now, if you invite Johnny Newby, you'll see that he has a tick here next to his name, and you'll see that that means that he is selected to be invited. Now, I could select a second person and invite that second person too, but I'll just show you on the roots of this tree here how this changes. So you'll notice that when I have only Johnny selected, the Platforms Training Ground and Platforms Training Ground organization have this little half-filled green bar here. Now, that's because only a part of the group is selected. If I selected Angela as well, watch what happens. See, it turns into a tick. So what that means is that everyone in this organization and everyone in this group are selected. Now, I'll just quickly go through that again. So at the top, there's the organization, which is Platforms Training Ground. Below that is the group. Now, if there were multiple groups, they would come here, and then below the users of the first group, there'll be the second group and third group, and so on. And then below, contained within this second group, the Platforms Training Ground, are the users within that group, and that's Angela and Johnny. So right now I just want to invite Johnny. So I'll click on Johnny, and you'll see that it goes back to the half-filled bars. I'll click Invite. And there we go. The invitation has been sent. That's been sent to his email. Now what you need to do now is inform your platformer that he has been invited to join the game. Now he will find an email inviting him to the game in his inbox. It could be in his spam or junk inbox. Just be careful to inform them of that, but also obviously to take the due diligence of making sure that he or she doesn't open any spam. Then they'll click on a link within that email, and that will take them to a page where they can create their password. So they need to actually create their own password and submit that. Once they've done that, they're in the system and they're ready to play. So I know it's a little bit different from your normal sign-up procedure. Again, the goal here was to make it as secure and as safe as possible. By having the normal sign-up process, you can potentially have people entering the system from outside, and that is what we're trying to avoid. So we've taken every precaution to make sure that doesn't happen. So by doing this, everyone is safe, everyone is secure, and no one can come in from outside unless they're invited. So in the next part, we're going to stop here, and we're going to start a new video for the next part. So we're going to stop here. Next time, we're going to go through the questing system because that's a little bit more in depth about how we can create a quest, and then we'll go through the powers, and then the platformers after that. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.